All right. Okay, maniacs. Uh, Thank you for taking a look at this because I know this is hardcore. I know it's sort of in the weeds. I know there's probably a little niche market out there that are that's interested in stuff like this. But for those of you who are, you're going to appreciate this, especially if you're a 1970s Bronze Age Marvel collector. Um, I just want to take a little quick look at the Defenders that I have. Most of these books I picked up in the 1990s. Uh, I just happen to be a bigger Defenders fan than the Avengers. I know it's incredible, but to me, the Defenders is the team of the 70s. It's just beautiful. Of course, we're starting off with Steve Englehart as the writer here, and of course, Sal Buscema was doing the interior pencils and a lot of the covers here. Look at this. This is fantastic right there. Okay. This is basically the threat of the Undying Ones. A story that had begun quite some time ago in Doctor Strange 183, Hulk 126, I think, and an issue of Submariner there. Yeah, all good stuff. And then, of course, Bourne the Surfer appears. By the way, at this time, the Surfer was not being used much at all. Stanley still had an embargo on the character, apparently, and Englehart managed to get use of the Surfer. Back in those days, the Surfer was not common. Now, the result of this story of the finishing of the Undying Ones, of course, is the creation of Valkyrie, the real version here. Just fantastic stuff right here. And then, of course, we go into the conclusion of the Omegatron story. The Omegatron story, which, of course, appeared in Marvel Feature. For those of you who are Defenders maniacs. This stuff here is all magnificent. Steve Englehart and Sal Buscema. This is their peak right here. I've always loved that. I love his costume, you know, the red ghost. I mean, it's so flamboyant. I mean, look at that tight spandex thing he's wearing right there, even though he is, he's got that weird bald head. Yeah. Oh, dear. God, I can't tell you how much I love this stuff. I mean, come on. Don't tell me you're not going to buy this book off the stands. Don't tell me that you can survive this book. Look at it. Poor Hawkeye's going to get his ass beaten right there. And then, of course, this is the Avengers Defenders War. This is, I think, the second clash that Thor and Hulk have. And they fight basically to a standstill. It's beautiful, great stuff. By the way, I love that issue so much that I went over and got myself I graded my other copy at 9.6. Of course, right here we have a story right here. We're featuring King Richard the Lionheart. Hopefully, if for those of you who don't know your history, please do a little Google search on him, where they meet the Black Knight and. Come on now, Exemnu, issue 12 and Defenders. Beautiful stuff right there. And then, of course, the Squadron Sinister. I always loved Hyperion. Hyperion's one of the few guys that can really trade some blows with the Hulk right there. Beautiful stuff right there. Just in case you're wondering what about those characters, obviously Marvel's version of Justice League. Oh, it just keeps getting better right now. Look at this. That's Nebulon, the Celestial Man. And Len Wein steps in and does these two beautiful issues right here with Magneto, where he creates Alpha, the ultimate mutant. Oh my, I can't tell you how many times I read this story as a kid. And, Alpha goes flying off into space, and believe it or not, it took years. I mean, this is 1974. He didn't appear again until 1991 in the issue of Quasar. Incredible. And here we are. Beautiful Power Man taking a guest appearance right here. You know why it has to appear? Because there's a wrecking crew. Len Wein. God, Len Wein. We love you, Len. Great stuff here. Beautiful. I just love the wrecking crew. Ah, dear. And then, of course, Steve Gerber comes in. Steve Gerber comes in, takes over this book. This is a follow-up from Marvel 2-in-1 6 and 7, basically. A really complicated story right there. Again, with the Undying Ones. And then, okay, now we're getting into where there's nothing that matches this stuff in the 70s. I'm sorry. The Defenders 21 here, which features the reappearance of the so-called Headmen, this little band of villains, Steve Gerber. Oh, I'm going to go into this issue by itself at length at some point, but just because I have to. Just beautiful, brilliant stuff there. And of course, the return of the Sons of the Serpent right there, the old Avengers villains right there. Beautiful. There is, of course, the guest appearance there with Daredevil and Son of Satan. Just look at this beautiful stuff. And you know what? It just keeps getting better, right? Look at this. The Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, I love that cover, especially with the heads. Look at it. Oh, my word. I remember that this copy, by the way, that I'm holding in my hand, I picked up from Heidi Ho Comics in Santa Monica in 1992. This is the exact copy. Oh, my word. Just great stuff here. This is unbelievable. This is where they meet the female Badoon for the first time. By the way, the female Badoon, don't mess with those guys. And then, of course, Starhawk. That's a very popular issue these days. Again, that finishes that story. And then it gets really, really crazy. And a lot of people have referenced this little storyline, which begins in issue 31 here, quite a lot. As Steve Gerber's, probably his finest hour on the Defenders, where it features a beautiful sequence here, the origin of Nighthawk, and the Headman come back right here. It's just totally crazy. If you want to read a story that's just totally insane, stretching the imagination to levels that, where it's almost breaking, Steve Gerber, I can't tell you how much I love his writing, Steve Gerber. Rest in peace, Steve. He passed away, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago now. But all this is beautiful stuff. I can't tell you how many times I've read this stuff. A million times. Oh my word, just fantastic. I'm just letting you guys know, right now, these issues, especially these numbers of Defenders right now are actually, I consider, underpriced. They're very cheap. So go out there and get these issues. Make sure you read them. It's all great stuff. Really, really good. Way cheaper than the Avengers right now. But I can't imagine that they'll remain that low for too much longer. Just beautiful stuff. I mean, look at that there. Beautiful. Everyone loves Moon Knight these days. I was never really a Moon Knight fan, but he does, it's a nice little guest appearance. But yeah, just great stuff. Oh, in actual fact, wait a minute, before we... Oh my word, look at this. Defenders 62. At some point, I'm going to spend some time on this. This issue. Look at the guest stars. This is incredible. Look at that. There's Jack of Hearts right there. There's Captain Marvel. There's Nova. Incredible stuff right here. This is the famous Defenders for a Day storyline. But anyway, I just happen to think that the Defenders run, especially like issues like 30 up, are way underpriced. Great reads, great collectability right there. So yeah, at some point I'm going to do some more specialized stuff on the Defenders. But this is my favorite team book of the 1970s. Boom!